Is it on? Yes. All right. Red is the indicator that it's on. Seems a little counterintuitive. Perhaps it should be green. Good morning, everybody. My name is Tiffany, and I'm going to serve as your host for the next little while. I want to welcome everyone to the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living. And if you're joining us on Zoom, good morning to you. And if you're joining us on Zoom from out of the area, it's a glorious spring day here in Eureka. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, there is no drizzle anywhere. If you're here in our room today, if you could turn off your cell phones, that would be awesome. And if you are new to our center, we welcome you, and we're so glad that you're here. Let's see, we always start with our land acknowledgement. Do I have my clicker? Oh. Wouldn't it be great if for a full hour I thought I had it, and you guys are going, there's nothing in her hand. All right. So the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living acknowledges that the land on which we gather is the ancestral territory of the Wiyot peoples. This territory extends to the communities throughout most of Humboldt County, and we honor the Wiyot peoples today. So, as I mentioned, this is the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living, and I moved here 2 years ago, which I've told some of you, but my first stint in Humboldt County was 35 years ago when I moved here for college, and I realized it was 35 years when I did the math this morning. But I didn't know much about Eureka because when I lived here before, I didn't have a car. And then for a while, I did have a car and I was working in Eureka, but I didn't really get to know Eureka very well because I was working nights and weekends. And so I was doing what most people do, you know, after you get off a long shift, you want something tall and frosty and cold. And so the place I got to know the best was the Wendy's in Eureka on Broadway, because there's nothing like a chocolate frosty after a long day at work. So anyway, as I mentioned, I was a child at the time, and I'm so glad to be back. So let's start today with a song, Lead with Love.
Please stand.
Gosh, I looked at you and I thought, she got her hair.
It's been a hot hair day. Well, you gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. Well, you gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes. Don't you despair. Look up ahead. The path is there. So gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared. Maybe I'm scared too. But here I am, right next to you. So, gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with other, and lead with love. One foot in front of the other, and lead with love. One foot in front of the other, and lead with love.
Thank you so much, Donna, and thank you, everybody. Such a great song. All right. Look, they're ahead of me. I want to welcome everyone, and here's our morning affirmation. So if you could join me in this. We are a welcoming community where the vibration of love lifts us, the wisdom of the ages inspires us, and the science of mind teaching empowers us. So at this point, I'd love to have you turn to someone and wave at them or high five them and say, "I'm glad you're here today."
Jackson, I'm glad you're here today.
Well done, well done. So here is this week's lineup. You'll see it's a very strong lineup. We're giving you Saturday as a free day, so run amok. Run amok on Saturday and then come on Sunday and atone for whatever you did. So we have started a fairly new group called Brave Vulnerable Conversations. We meet every Thursday. This is a totally drop-in group. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to pay anything, nothing. Just show up. And it's at 10 a.m. on Thursdays. This Friday is Crafternoon. We're going to be making peace doves, or you can bring your own project. So anyway, please join us on Friday for that. Also, next Sunday after the service, we're going to be having what we're calling a discovery class. And this is for anyone who is new to our center or wants to learn more and is interested in becoming a member or just wants to learn. So next Sunday after the service, we'll be holding this. You certainly can. It's your church.
I have a sign-up sheet over here for those, I got 4 names from you who filled out the membership form saying that you wanted to be a member. But I want to have everybody put their name on this list because I make a little folder for you that tells you all kinds of stuff about the center. And we also give the new members a membership. Thank you very much. So make sure you print your name the way you want it on your name tag, and make sure you sign up so I know how many booklets to make. Thank you.
You're welcome. So for those of you who are on Zoom and didn't see Reverend Angelica, she said if you sign up on the sign-up sheet for the discovery class, there is swag. So now I'll bring up Lori to talk about the plant sale.
I always love Tiffany's applause. She's more energetic than anyone in the room. Thank you. This is a little show and tell. One of the things that we're going to have for the sale, it's kind of Eastery, springy. Okay. They will be in 3 different colors, by the way. I'm having too much fun with it, what can I say? Just a reminder, this is what we need. Okay, so things are really going to ramp up on Sunday next week. That's the day we start moving the tables. Linda has just brought in a ton more bonsai pots today, so I'm excited about that. So again, I'm going to be in the lobby afterwards trying to get people to sign up for various things. We're low in all areas. I know we've only had the sign-up sheet for 1 week, so I'm hoping today and next Sunday we can get more people to sign up. We have a lot of people who are willing to drive to transport the plants, but they need partners to load their vehicle and get them here. So if you see somebody on the list that's driving and you want to work with them to get the plants here, that would be awesome. So next Sunday, if you have a vehicle that can take tables, like a truck, something like that, we don't have enough people signed up yet for both sides, up here and down at the basement. So people want to sign up for that for next Sunday after services. We have a good start with volunteers for the 2 days of the sale, but not enough. We have one person, thank you, Corinne, for signing up at 7:30 on both days to get everything out. So we're definitely going to need some more people for that. And then let me know if you're interested in helping with the pricing. Corinne and I are kind of on top of that, but if you want to help out, that would be helpful. We're going to price things with even numbers. We're not going to have pennies, nickels, or dimes in our cash boxes. So you can make something $1.50, $5.50, or $1.50, just don't break it down any smaller than that, please, because we won't have change. I'm looking for someone or some people to volunteer to bring hot food both of those days for the volunteers. Now, I have some ideas. I was thinking, since Gail has been donating all these eggs, it might be good to use those eggs at least one of the 2 days and scramble them up and put them in a crock pot. I prefer if somebody else could do it because I'm kind of busy. But I was thinking also we could do some regular sausage, some vegan sausage, some hash browns, something like that in another crock pot. I don't know. That's just an idea. So if you have any ideas, come talk to me after the service so we can have something hot for the volunteers to eat. Some of our plants don't have drainage, and so I just want to say that we can't be watering these plants during the sale because they'll get waterlogged. Some people are very generous and want to water while we're having the sale, but please be aware that plants that don't have drainage will be drowned. And then also, thanks, Jeff. I'm in the middle of talking, Jeff. No. Then there are plants that have drainage and no protection underneath them. So I'm encouraging people not to water the plants within 12 hours before the sale so that we don't have a bunch of mud everywhere. That's it. I'm done. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Lori. What an effort by so many people. Yeah, I'm just really excited about it. I'm so glad it's finally here. I went to a nursery while I was on vacation last week, and I was like, don't buy anything. You got to wait for the plant sale. So anyway, I used some restraint. So coming up this summer in August is our National Worldly Organizations conference in Canada. So some of us are already going. If you have questions, please talk to Reverend Angelica, and she can let you know. All right, and our little pantry always needs feeding. So anyway, that's in the other room, and please check it out and see what it needs. All right. So our theme for this month, and this is almost our last Sunday of this, is Trusting the Compass Within. And so with that, we're going to move into a song, Be Still.
Be still, in quiet and in peace. We know the joy Be still and know that faith has made us whole. Renewed are we in spirit and in soul. The light of truth within shines forth that we may see. Perfect peace is ours eternally.
Now I'll turn it over to Scott.
This is going to be interesting. I wrote down that I was the practitioner of the day next week. So I have not prepared anything. So I will be still and be calm and see what I can guide you with. What we do on our moment of peace, also called our contemplative meditation, is in theory, a practitioner prepares, and they come up and read something, and then we meditate on it. And then Jackson plays some music and then end in a treatment. That's not happening today. So when I just saw my name show up there, I'm sitting next to my wife, I went, say what? So what I think I will do, this is nice, but I think what I will do is share a conversation I had yesterday that was very impactful. And thank you, James. I've been going to the men's group, and yesterday I think there were 7 of us, and I've never been part of a men's group. As a matter of fact, I'm usually always in a group that has a lot of women. So this is very, very different for me. And our discussions ranged from introducing ourselves to spirituality, to religion, to, of course, if I'm in a group, it ends up walking down the rabbit hole, and talking about what's going on in the world. And we got into, I don't want to say it wasn't heated at all, it was very engaging. And I'm concerned about the way things are, and James, with some help from some of the other members in the group, reaffirmed that everything is love. Absolutely everything is love. We bring into our lives that which we feel and we believe. And sometimes we aren't yet ready to bring in the love or the forgiveness. That's okay too. But if we can turn our focus on everything that is going on towards love, kindness, and compassion, that is a movement that we need. So I suggest to you, as I suggest to myself, as James emphatically suggested to me, can you think of ways to love more? Can you take those thoughts that are twisting your insides, speaking for myself, and say, how can I find more love in that? Can you take the feeling of fear that you sometimes feel for anything from personal health to the world situation and say, how can I add more love to that? As you go about your day to day, are there areas where you feel you have been deficient in giving love? And instead, today, we'll make a very conscious effort to put more love into every situation in which you find yourself. We had a discussion whether love is the opposite of fear. I'm not sure I'm there yet. I think love and fear can in some weird way coexist, but I am an absolute firm believer that there is no situation where adding love, compassion, and kindness will make it worse. It might not yet make it better, but it will not make it worse. So I'd like to take a moment and just think of what your day will be like today. If you get stressed, if you get worried, if you get nervous, if you get fearful, if you get angry, and when you do it, catch that thought, trap it, and ask of yourself, how can I put more love into it? And we'll take a moment to think about that. So here's what I know. I know that I am, speaking in the first person, I know that I am more powerful, more expansive, more loving, more beautiful, more creative, more wondrous than I could possibly ever imagine. And I know that each and every being, each and every event shares those same traits, because each being and every event and every action that takes place is all created of the same energy, as am I. There can be no separation. So as I go about my day, as I go about my life, I draw to me beauty and love and wonder and peace and kindness and compassion, because as I draw it to me, I spread it out to others. And as they pick it up and they spread it back to me, it grows, a never-ending wave that expands to the furthest reaches of what I can imagine and creates a better world, a better planet, a better universe. So because I know that, I consciously focus on that. And I realize that my thoughts are creating my future and my present, and I am grateful for the beauty and the love that they are creating. And I release these words into the universal law of mind, knowing it has no choice except to say yes. And it does it with enthusiasm, and I am grateful for that. And so it is.
I'm quiet, I'm calm, I'm at ease. I'm quiet, I'm calm, I'm at ease. Right here and right now, I'm at peace with myself. I'm quiet, I'm calm, I'm at ease. I'm quiet, I'm calm, I'm at ease. I'm quiet, I'm calm, I'm at
Thank you, Jackson. I'm hearing impaired, and at the first couple of times you said it, I thought you were saying I'm quiet, I'm calm, I'm Eddie. And I was trying to figure out who that is. And now, Reverend Angelica.
Thank you very much. You did good. All right. Thank you, Jackson. Thank you, Scott. So this book got put up here. I've got to open it and just see what it says. Just what's the message? Here's one. The things of the past shall not be remembered or come to mind. Instead, there shall be rejoicing and happiness in what I create. That was from Isaiah 65. So good morning, everyone. It's good to see you all this morning. When Jackson started singing that song this morning, I thought, well, that's odd. I am calm. And I realized this was the first morning that I didn't get up and read any email or look at my internet. All I did was print out the talk. And it was because I overslept, but I just got it in listening to that contemplative, that I cannot start out my day by looking at my email. Because it really does, it does make a difference energetically. So we're on a journey. We've been talking about being on this spiritual journey all year so far. Seems like the year's a lot longer than it's actually been because of all the things that have been happening in the world. But we're moving into the end of the third month of this journey. And I want to talk to you today about walking in harmony with spirit, or living in divine alignment. That word, that pair of words, divine alignment, really spoke to me when they came to me when I was working on what my talk titles would be. And when I give the musicians and the practitioners and our center council my talk titles, I don't know what I'm going to say. They just come to me, and so, I go, okay, Spirit, that sounds good. Well, this time I'm thinking, divine alignment, walking in harmony of spirit, what does this mean? And even though Dr. Martin Luther King's holiday or anniversary, or whatever they want to call it, was in January, his name kept coming to me, and so I started going on ChatGPT. I just love ChatGPT, asking for stories about Dr. King and getting myself more familiar with him. And what I realized was that during the Civil Rights Movement, he faced tremendous political turmoil, unimaginable almost. He had violence, there were threats against him, there was hatred directed to him daily and at his family, etc. Yet in the midst of it all, he remained centered in his spiritual alignment. There must have been one or two moments at least where he wasn't centered, but yet it seemed, as I was reading about him, that he was able to handle everything from a deep place within. And I found this story. One night, after receiving yet another death threat, he sat at his kitchen table, exhausted and afraid. In that moment of despair, he prayed deeply, surrendering his fear to God. Suddenly, he felt an overwhelming peace wash over him, a divine reassurance that he was not alone, that Spirit was guiding him. From that moment on, he walked forward with renewed faith, knowing he was aligned with something greater than the chaos around him. And boy, did that little story speak to me. Am I aligned with something greater than the chaos that seems to be happening in our world? Or am I, like Scott said earlier, heading down the rabbit hole a little bit too much? What I realized was that Dr. King didn't deny what was happening in the world, but he refused to let it shake his inner alignment. And we can do that too. Just as he turned inward for inner guidance, we can find peace and direction even when the world seems just a little bit too chaotic for our liking, or it feels unstable. And one of the things that came to me out of this was that even in this world's chaos, we can be anchors of peace. And that phrase really got to me. So what does an anchor do? When a fisherman throws an anchor overboard, it's so the ship will stay in one place and not get, knocked all around and be swept away by a storm. And so if we're anchors of peace, then we're staying, like Dr. King did, in principle. We're staying in a conscious awareness of principle and allowing ourselves constantly to recognize when we're going off and or down the rabbit hole and move out of it by remembering that something greater. What did it say? He said, he walked with renewed faith, knowing he was aligned with something greater than the chaos around him. And so we can do that too. So to me, divine alignment is the experience of being in tune with the infinite. It's where life unfolds with grace. When I look at my life, like coming here this morning and getting to greet all of you and hearing the wonderful music and knowing that something good is happening this morning that's going to, the energy of this place is going to radiate out into the community and out even farther than we could possibly ever imagine. That, to me, is allowing or feeling life unfolding with grace. Paying attention to what's happening now. Ernest Holmes says, there's a power for good in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it. This is one of his favorite lines, I think. I've read it so many different times. There's a power for good in the universe, and we can use it. We have to be conscious of it in order to use it. We have to believe in it in order to use it. And so that's our work, is to continually allow ourselves to do our study, do our prayer works, be in meditation, etc., so that we can stay in alignment. So for me then, alignment means co-creation, not just asking something outside of us to help us or to guide us, but attuning ourselves to its wisdom. I remember a long time ago, well, actually in the past 10 years, because I heard it when I was living here, I was listening to something on the radio in my car, and somebody said that they were talking about God being everything, that there isn't an entity out there called God, unless you believe there is. There isn't, what it really is, though, is this divine energy that's moving in through and as everything, coalescing into form and uncoalescing, etc. And that this energy is really the energy of love. And so this person who was talking said that that this meant to them that no matter what was happening in their life, if they needed reassurance, if they needed to feel better about whatever was happening, they could walk into their house and touch the lintel of their door and say to God, support me. They could look at a pet and say, love me. They could touch anything. I mean, these beautiful flowers that Tiffany brought this morning, I was looking at those, and I'm in love with roses anyway. And, that too is the beauty of God manifesting right here and right now. And so please me, So let's look then at some signs that we're in alignment with the divine. For one thing I noticed is ease and flow. Things come together naturally. I was on the phone Monday with my prayer partner, Reverend Lorraine Trout, who used to be the minister, she's retired now, of a place in Saskatchewan, Canada. We've been praying together on Mondays since 2008. And so I said to her, we talk about stuff and how we're feeling and all of that, and then we get around to what we want to be prayed for. And I said to her, well, I'm realizing that I'm leaving on April 23rd to go on this fabulous cruise, and I need some extra spending money. So treat for me for that. She says, okay. She tells me what she wants. We do our treatment. And right as we're going, and so it is, I hear her partner, Arlene, saying, wait, I need to talk to Angelica. Don't hang up. And so I'm thinking, I hear her say that, and I think, oh, she wants a treatment too. So, hi, Arlene, how are you doing, blah, blah, blah. And she says, did you ever sign up for your Canadian pension? I said, what? I'm not Canadian. How could I get pension? And she said, I did your taxes for 10 years. You paid into it, which means you get to fill out some papers, and you'll be getting maybe $100, $200 every month for the rest of your life. I said to her, tell Lorraine that was really a quick treatment. Now, I probably won't get it in time for going on the trip, but what just blew me away was the ease, how things came together so easily. Now, I haven't lived in Canada. I lived there for 10 years. I haven't lived there for a long time, probably 16 years, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a time person. But anyway, I never thought about that. And not being Canadian, why would I think about it, right? But I paid into it, she said, so you get to have it. So that ease and flow of how it works, that shows that we're in alignment. Another way I figured that we know we're in alignment is because we feel a deep inner peace. We really feel a knowing that we're on the right path. When you know that you're on the right path, you're not constantly trying to figure out what else you could do to make yourself happy. You just know. And the other thing is synchronicities, and that's when the right people, ideas, and opportunities show up at the perfect time. Exactly when you need them. Those are some signs I thought of for being in alignment. So now let's look at what knocks us out of alignment. And so the first one I thought of was fear and doubt. Fear and doubt cloud our ability to hear the divine. They cloud our ability to be able to experience the beauty and the love and the wonders of being alive. Another thing I thought of was over-reliance on the intellect instead of inner wisdom. Think about that one for a moment. Over-reliance on our intellect instead of allowing ourselves to listen to divine wisdom, inner wisdom. My mind I'll think of something flashes through my mind, and I'll think about it, and my mind goes, oh, wait a minute. You can't do that, or you'll need to do this before you can do that. And you know what your mind does. It starts chattering immediately. Do you know, I heard one time that the mind's job is to keep us safe. But it keeps us safe in some pretty weird ways. It's based on everything we've ever heard, we've ever learned since we came into this particular dimension, or maybe even before. I thought that was really interesting. So what else does it? Resistance, trying to force things rather than surrendering to divine timing. You know, you decide you want something, and maybe you treat for it, maybe you don't, who knows, but you know, instead of just relaxing and letting the universe bring it to you, you try to force it into coming into your experience. That's another thing that knocks us out of alignment. So what I realized in thinking about these things is that the world might be in chaos, but spirit is not. It's never in chaos. It's only in love. It's only in a place of, it's actually our true north, you might say. No matter what's happening around us, if we move into the place of taking a deep breath, you know, that's one of the things I notice when I'm not in, when I'm in my intellect too much, my breathing, or when I'm down the rabbit hole, my breathing is much shallower than it is than when I'm allowing myself to be in alignment with spirit. So spirit remains our true center, no matter what's happening around us. And Ernest Holmes says, true spiritual understanding is not disturbed by the appearance of discord. Couldn't tell that by me. But sometimes I can. True spiritual understanding is not disturbed by the appearance of discord. So one of the things I realized I have to do is respond rather than react. Reaction takes me down the rabbit hole. So rather than react, what I'm trying to remember to do is to stop, allow myself to take a deep breath, and ask myself, how would Spirit respond here? What is the thing that Spirit would do? And the answer to me is always love. And even if I can't love the thing that's causing me to go down the rabbit hole, I can find something around me to love. Or I could love myself even in my infallibilities. Dr. Holmes also writes, worry is an unconscious form of prayer. It's the mental act of rehearsing fear instead of faith. Think about that for a minute. Worry is an unconscious form of prayer. It's the mental act of rehearsing fear instead of faith. So when we think about that, this reminds us to redirect our mental energies. We redirect them toward trusting in the creative process and the positive outcomes that we want to have. That's why I keep saying to you and to myself, something amazing is happening here. Even though it looks like all hell is breaking loose, something amazing is happening here. And I happened to see on the internet the other day a woman, I don't even remember her name, but she was giving a talk, and the phrase that came out of that talk for me was, we're experiencing a great awakening. You know how sometimes just before things get good, things seem to be really bad? Well, maybe that's what's going on here. Maybe we are going to experience a great awakening. I mean, I'm definitely going for that. Right? I think that would be great. So this is what I want to say to you. In order to stay in divine alignment, you have to do regular spiritual practice. I know that sometimes we get too busy. It's like exercise. At first, you're all excited about going and doing your exercises and, getting physically fit, etc. And it's the same way when you learn meditation or spiritual mind treatment. You get excited about it at the beginning. I've watched first-year students just, so excited about this ability to tap into the spiritual life. And then you go on vacation and you forget. And then you come back, just like exercise, and you think, I got to go to the gym. Oh, maybe not. I should sit down and meditate. I have too much to do. I got to do this, that, and the other. That's when we have to tell our mind, excuse me, come back. Let's sit down and do our spiritual practice. My spiritual practice takes maybe 20 minutes. Now, at one point, that seemed like a really long period of time. I'd rather do one that's like, what did the lady that channels Abraham said one time? She said 17 seconds. 17 seconds. Focus on what the good is that you want in your life. And that's all you need is 17 seconds. And I thought, now that's for me. 17 seconds, I can do that. But, now I read things in the morning. I'm rereading my own book, which is a daily book. I have a list of people that I've said I would treat for. So I do that, and I meditate. And I usually get up from that feeling really good about life itself. And I know that because I'm doing a daily spiritual practice, that those people that say to me, you're so, I get good compliments all the time about who I am, etc. And because I'm staying in alignment as much as I can, in divine alignment. One of the phrases that came to me, I have a practice that I'm doing with some other people, that every morning I take a particular phrase at first it was about the physical body, but now it's just about whatever comes to me to say. And I say it 108 times. I have a mala, right? Do you know what a mala is? Okay, it looks like a beaded necklace, but it has 108 beads on it. So this morning, my mala was, and I recognize that this works even for when you're in political storms, I stand in truth. Love is the ultimate reality. I stand in truth. Love is the ultimate reality. Now, if you're really getting into that and believing that, the whole universe is going to go, yeah. You know, that's its only word, right? Yes. And so it's going to make it that way. So my call for you this week is to look at how you're walking in harmony with Spirit. You know, we can go outside and this beautiful day that Tiffany talked about that I thought, yeah, it's gorgeous, except the fog kept me from seeing any of it this morning. But when we look at nature is always in alignment. And so let's be like nature. What if we trusted life the same way nature does? You know, those beautiful rose bushes I have in my yard, they're not in there, you know, oh my God, she's cut us back. We're never going to grow, you know, kind of thing. They're like, ooh, more energy, you know. They trust nature. They trust. So allow yourself to open up to this idea of divine alignment. And let's do this by going into prayer. And I'm going to speak it in the first person, but it's for everybody to take in that way in the first person. So today I open myself to divine alignment. I walk in harmony with Spirit, knowing that as I do so, everything in my world changes. I let myself remember constantly that who I am and the power that I'm using is greater than anything that I could possibly ever imagine. So as I walk in alignment with the divine, I see my life differently than I might have seen it when I was watching the news. And I let go. I just let go of all the negativity around me. I let go of the fear that I might be feeling. I let go, and I let Spirit fill me up with everything necessary to the fulfillment of who I am. A unique manifestation of the One. It's not God out there. Well, it is, but it's God in here. God in every cell and atom of our bodies. This week, I choose to acknowledge my own divinity more than I ever have before. When I look at myself in the mirror, I see the face of God. When I look in the faces of the people around me, I see the face of God. All there is the divine. And as I recognize this, and as I keep myself in divine alignment, I choose for my alignment to be one of peace, one of greater love and compassion and kindness. And so I know that that's the energy that I'm radiating, and that's the energy that goes out from around me and touches people in places I don't even know. So I celebrate being in divine alignment. I celebrate walking in harmony with Spirit. Spirit is love. So with a grateful heart, I release these words knowing that they are already being done. They are already accomplished. I feel myself feeling calm, feeling at one knowing that everything is divine and I'm in alignment with it. And it is good, very good. And so it is. So Edward is giving us a gift of music this morning. So let's give him a hand. Thank you.
Let's see here, okay. I think everything is working.
It works.
You know, one thing I love about being a licensed practitioner here is that I learn something every day from you guys, and I learn from my sibling from another nibbling, Scott, about chat, and I tried that. And it told me, you know, I asked it, I said, what is the wisest thing you can tell me? And it gave me some of the most frightening 7 words I've ever seen in my life. It said, listen to Amy. She's always right. So I chose to take that advice, and I decided to do that. I have a song that I'm going to do today that I wrote because she's been after me to play my own music. And thank you, Anna. And actually, this is a song that I wrote around my birthday some years back. And the only time I ever performed it was at my dad's funeral. Still a little emotional for me. But being as tomorrow is my 74th anniversary of life here, I decided to do it again. There's always a story to my songs. So the story for this one, the original title was A Soul's Journey. And when I wrote the poem, I'll Remember Dad, it became the background music for that. But Peter and the Wolf was always one of my favorites. I always loved classical music, and jazz were my favorite musics. And I love the Russian composers. So this one has a theme. So when you listen to the melody, it'll change slightly. It's repetitive, but it changes slightly. And it represents the soul's departing the body and moving into the after dimension. And I won't call it an afterlife because I believe there's only life. So this is just an aspect of it. So it moves into the after dimension, and then it reincarnates back into another set of atoms or another person. And so this is the soul's journey, hopefully.
you so much, Edward. You gotta love a person who provides the music for their own birthday. All right, so now is when we share our gifts. If you'll join me in reading this slide together. I gratefully give from the fullness of my abundance, knowing my gift blesses this center, all in it and beyond, and so it is. Thank you, band. And so, on behalf of the center, I gratefully accept these gifts, these investments in our community, both inside these walls and outside. And together we say, and so it is. Great. And so can I have someone come up and read our statement of inclusion? Please, come on up.
It's the whole thing. My name is Aiden Kinnear. Oh yeah, we can do
Tech
that.
support. There you go.
We, the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living, are a community that celebrates diversity, fosters inclusion, champions inner work, and creates space for brave, vulnerable conversations. We are a community that honors the unique emanation of God that each person embodies and advocates with people for human rights and dignity for all. We are a community that blesses each other, see sacredness in all life, remain learners and listeners so that we may grow together, and understands that oneness is not sameness. We know our beloved community is revealed more fully when we love each other well.
If you'd now make a circle, please, we'll sing the peace song. Good job, Aiden. All right. All right. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, loved ones all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every This is my joyous take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Amy brought food today, so do stick around and have a nibble, and let's honor our guest musician, Edward.